Hi, my name's Tabria and I'm making voter guides for every single state for the midterms this year, and today we're doing Montana. You can screenshot the guide here or you can find it in my bio with everything hyperlinked. Alright, Montana, your primaries are June 2nd, and if you're not already registered to vote, you can do so through Election Day. You just have to register at your county election office, which is different than your polling place, so be sure you double check that. Also, you'll have open primaries so you can choose your ballot on Election Day. Alright, let's start with your U.S. Senate race. This is an open seat and the leading Republican is Kurt Alm, who has never been elected to an office before. He's endorsed by Trump, and the only thing on his site is his biography. If you're a Democrat that's going to vote on a Republican ballot, go for Lee Calhoun instead. He supports universal health care, and I've never heard a conservative say that. So you've got a few Democrats running and an independent, and it's looking like it's going to come down to Riley Neal and Seth Bodnar. Bodnar is an independent who entered the race last minute, and he touches on a lot of topics on his website, but he's mostly addressing problems without providing solutions. Also, he was involved with a gender discrimination case while he was president at UM that settled out of court, so there's that. With Riley Neal's campaign, you get a better understanding of what she's working towards, like raising the federal minimum wage, introducing a new farm bill, fully funding public schools, putting a moratorium on new data centers, and a lot more. This is going to be tough because having a Democrat and a well-funded independent on the ballot in November is just going to split the vote. So, all right, for District 1, if you're going to vote on the Republican ballot and vote against Aaron Flint, vote for Ray Curtis. He has some policy plans on his website, and he's the only one not sucking up to Trump. Now, this primary is competitive for the Democrats because there's a lot of overlap with the candidates. Here's a chart showing where they stand on key issues. I'm going to keep going so you can pause to read it here. Personally, I like Russ Cleveland. He has a powerful backstory that fueled his motivation for running for office. His campaign is very thorough, and he's the only candidate that called on a moratorium on data centers. This race is probably going to be close, but whoever wins, that's who you throw your support behind come November. All right, for District 2, y'all's current rep is Troy Downing. He's the only Republican running, so there's no voting against him. He only has a 34% approval rate, but this is a very conservative district, so I wouldn't be surprised if y'all elected him again. Anyway, y'all have two Democrats and an independent running, although I think there's a mishap with Michael Eisenhower's signatures, so just be on the lookout for that. But I'm leaning towards Sam Lux, who seems very sincere when discussing issues like healthcare, data centers, education, and workers' protections. Whoever wins this race, please support them as much as you can. They don't have much funding and not a lot of name recognition, so they could really use a boost. You'll also have a Supreme Court race that's only going to show up on your ballot in November. Please pay special attention to this one. Every race is important, but especially your state Supreme Court. They decide some of the most consequential issues in your state, so you need somebody that's going to be fair and not bringing politics into the courtroom, and that is Amy Eddy. All right, that's it for Montana, and now it's time for your homework. Be sure you're registered to vote and check your registration, and remember you can register on Election Day. Check your sample ballot and polling place so you know what you'll be voting on beforehand, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Send this to 3 friends online and offline so we can get as many people to the polls as possible. That is it, and next is New Jersey, California, and New Mexico.